You guys remember that video from way back in the day that was just called David After Dentist, and the kid goes, "Is this real life?" That was my initial reaction to seeing Josh Donaldson traded, but not just to any team, the Evil Empire. And if you don't remember, a few months ago, in the 2020 season, Josh Donaldson and the ace of the Yankees, Gerrit Cole, had beef because Donaldson publicly said that Gerrit Cole is pretty much only elite because of that sticky stuff. If he stopped using it, he wasn't going to be as good. Now, in all fairness, he also called out Lucas Giolito, so it wasn't like he solely focused on Gerrit Cole, but he brought attention to Cole, and Cole didn't like that, and he showed it by getting angry and striking out Donaldson pretty much time after time after time. He dominated Mr. Josh. So what we're going to do today is we're going to break down the full trade, and if you're a Yankees fan, your precious little head might be fast asleep. You might be waiting until the morning to discover that this trade even happened. And if you're a fan of Gary Sanchez, this one's going to be a tough one because I know he was loved by a lot of Yankees fans, also hated because of his poor defense, but he was a ton of fun to watch. Yes, he was in fact included in this trade, as well as another loved Yankees player, but this one was more recent, Gio Urshela. He's going to the Twins as well. So without further ado, if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit subscribe. If you don't, that's okay as well. And also save yourself some money if you're going to any spring training games or Yankee games, anything that your heart desires. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off. So the Twins, let's talk about what they're getting first and foremost, because I guess the Twins are retooling. I don't know, man. They picked up Sonny Gray from the Reds a couple hours ago. I don't know what the Reds are doing by trading Sonny Gray for a guy they're not going to use for a couple years. And then the Twins are not a very playoff contending team. And then they acquire Sonny Gray, Gary Sanchez, and Gio Urshela in the span of about 17 seconds. So if you're wondering as a Twins fan how good Gary Sanchez is, he's basically Mitch Garver 2.0, and you just traded Mitch Garver, so you filled in the hole that was left by trading him. And again, one of the most infamous Yankees in history, and this is me speaking from a young fan's perspective. I feel like he is the most controversial player in baseball at times. Trade him. No, Gary Sanchez, give him a chance because he's a catcher with 50 home run pop. He can hit a ball 750 feet, but over the last 2 seasons, his offense has really dipped off. He has a 291 on base percentage, and we all know that Gary Sanchez is not a great defender. So when you combine a 291 on base percentage with not being a good defender and sometimes not having the best effort, if a ball gets past him, he kind of just sometimes, I would say 95% of the time he runs after it, but 100% of the time you should do that as a professional catcher, and sometimes he gets lazy, and that rubbed a lot of Yankees fans the wrong way, including Aaron Boone at times. Now, speaking of Aaron Boone, just a few days ago, he said that Gio Urshela was the Yankees' starting shortstop. He pretty much put to bed that Carlos Correa was not going to be a member of the Yankees and that they could compete with the team that they had in place. Obviously, that wasn't the case. Gio Urshela is going to the Twins as well. Sorry if it sounds like I'm a little bit stuffy. I think my sinuses are all messed up from traveling, but that's another story for a different day. Gio Urshela had a 134 OPS plus in his first 175 games with the Yankees, and I can remember this very fondly because it happened to my team. James Karinchak left a cookie down the middle, and Urshela became a Yankees postseason hero with this absolute pimp job, a no-doubt shot. This grand slam will always live in my memories as a very horrific one because this just really took the wind out of my sails. But again, I don't know what the Twins are doing. I don't know what the Reds are doing. I don't know what to make of this trade. Yeah, the Yankees are getting Josh Donaldson, who has a 127 OPS plus over his last 300 plus games, and he's an absolutely insane competitor. Josh Donaldson, you love it when he's on your team, but you cannot stand playing him because he's kind of a thorn in your side player because, one, he's not really a superstar player anymore, a superstar fading into a star, but the way that he cares about baseball and his overall perspective on how you should play the game of baseball, it's very refreshing, and I like it. I think that he's very dramatic, which is great for the game of baseball. And a 127 OPS plus over the last 300 games is really good. His defense is slipping as his athleticism is starting to wane, but he is still a star player. Do not get it twisted. And as I mentioned earlier, the Yankees are most likely out of the running for Mr. Carlos Correa because they traded for Isaiah Kiner Falefa, who they just got, talking about the Twins, they just got him in a trade for Mitch Garver. Isaiah went to the Twins, and then they shipped him immediately to the Yankees. So if you're a Yankees fan, pay attention. He is the anti-Gleyber Torres. What do I mean? Spectacular, otherworldly defense. not the best offensive player. And when I say that, he is 19% worse than the average hitter. He has a career 81 OPS plus. But again, fantastic defense. Maybe that saves you a few runs, but you could have gotten that with Tyler Wade. You could have gotten that with Andrelton Simmons. So this is a very makes you scratch your head as a Yankees fan, because you're thinking that you're going to go spend a bunch of money. You're going to go for the chip this year. This is the time to act, because Aaron Judge, he's creeping up there in age, and sooner but later, you're going to have to give him a bunch of money as well. Yeah, they decided to choose Aaron Judge over Carlos Correa. That is the only way that I can describe this, because they're trading for Josh Donaldson, they're trading for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and I do not want to forget him, because there might be one of you out there whose favorite player is Ben Rortvedt, who might be replacing Gary Sanchez. I don't believe that is going to be the case. I fully expect the Yankees to go with the Kyle Higashioka approach, because that dude plays 100% every single pitch, every single at-bat. I really like his game. Is his offensive ceiling as high as El Kraken? The Kraken? Obviously not. Gary Sanchez is one of the most prolific power hitters, power catchers, I should say. And actually, you know what? I can even say that. Power hitters, his home runs per at-bat is legendary stuff. But to me, the overarching theme of today's video is that the Yankees are not the Yankees from the past. Is Josh Donaldson a nice name? Yes. Is it what they needed? In my opinion, no. Baseball fans' perspectives, Josh Donaldson is a villain, so maybe he's going to fit in well, and him and Gerrit Cole, they kind of squash the beef. But I would have loved to see Carlos Correa doing the jump throws in New York in front of 50,000 screaming Yankees fans as they finally get over the 2017 cheating scandal. But instead, it looks like their consolation prize is going to be Josh Donaldson, and I guess you can throw in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Ben Rortvedt. And in exchange, the Twins are getting Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. The Gio Urshela really doesn't make sense to me, because it looked like he was finally finding his stride. In 2021, he wasn't bad by any means. He wasn't great, but that was because he was suffering through a lot of injuries. But he might have made the play of the year as he sacrificed his entire body going into the stands, very Derek Jeter-esque. And that's just the essence of Gio Urshela. He played Yankee baseball. He showed up every single day. And I know a lot of Yankees fans, they are upset on Twitter because, let's face it, they just don't like Josh Donaldson. And rightfully so, I guess, because he talked a lot of smack about your team, and there was a lot of heated moments between Josh and the Yankees organization over the last few years. So if you're a Yankees fan, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you make of this trade? Josh Donaldson, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Ben Rortvedt in exchange for Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. This means, in my humble, fuzzy opinion, that you are officially out of the Carlos Correa sweepstakes. One more move I do want to talk about, because I forgot it in today's first video. Adam Ottavino, the side-throwing, slider-throwing guy that can also throw a 97-mile-per-hour fastball, he is going to the Mets. And Trevor May, if he can learn how to throw a really good slider, this is going to be a good pickup. But Ottavino hasn't been the best over the last 2 seasons. But that's going to do it for today's quick little update. I know it's coming to you a little bit later, and I might not sound the healthiest. I feel great, but my voice is starting to go. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe out there.